Hey guys. Today we're going to be starting a new topic. As you can tell, this is not the regular big board and have all the stuff going on today. So we're just going to be introducing the topic. We're going to be introducing some vocabulary words. You guys do have an assignment on Pearson. All it is the book that we usually do in the classroom, where that we do it on the board and then you guys get to color it. This story is what you guys get to do on Pearson today. So that's really the only assignment that you have for today. Pretty easy. But I really want to go over some vocabulary words because this is a lot different than what we've been used to. Before, we've been talking about numbers, comparing numbers. And when we compare numbers, we talk about numbers that are bigger, numbers that are smaller. We talk about the value of numbers. Now, today, we're going to start talking about measurement. We're going to be talking about measuring length. And so we're still going to be looking at numbers, but we're not going to be talking about big and small. We're going to be talking about long and short. Okay, so we're going to look at some of our words, but first let's take a look at our essential question. Now, this essential question is, we may not know the answer to it right now, but by the time we get finished with this topic, we should know the answer to it. So let's see what the question is. It says, what are ways to measure how long an object is? So think about that for a minute. Think about what you already know about measuring. Maybe it's something that you've helped your dad or your mom or your grandpa or grandma do at home that you had to measure something. Yeah. Maybe build something. Yeah, you could be measuring to cut a piece of wood. Maybe measuring your mom's helping or making something with some material, and you had to measure material to get it cut the right size. So that's what we're going to be talking about. Is measuring, or ways to measure how long an object is. And you think, well, you can use a ruler, you can use a tape measure, you can use a yardstick. And so there's different things to measure different things. So there's different ways to measure different things. So we're going to be talking about different ways to measure. Okay, so let's take a look at our vocabulary words. I have these little cards all over here. I don't know if you can see them too well. But our first one is longer and longest. So longer, if you notice here, longer, they're comparing two things. So if you're looking at this, which is like a pencil, a little short pencil, like you sharpened it way too much in the pencil sharpener. And then this is a pencil that's not been sharpened very much. And so this not so sharpened pencil is longer than the sharpened pencil that you probably couldn't fit in the pencil sharpener anymore, right? Yeah. And you notice that they measured it using cubes. And so this little short pencil is only 2 cubes long. And then this pencil is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cubes long. So we know if 2 is smaller than 7, so 7 is bigger than 2, so 7 cubes is longer than 2 cubes. Okay, so when you're comparing two objects, you can say which one is longer or which one is shorter. That's the opposite of longer is shorter. Okay, so this is longer and this is shorter when you're comparing two objects. Okay, longer and shorter. Now we're going to be talking about if you're comparing 3 objects. Okay, so when you're comparing 3 objects like these little wiggly worms here, you have long, longer, longest, longest. So that EST means most. Okay, ER means more, longer, but EST means most. So longest. So if you're comparing 3 or more things, you can tell which one is the longest or has the most length. Or you can say which one is shortest. So we have short, shorter, shortest. So shortest means it's the shortest of them all. Okay? So this is longer, longest, shortest. Now that's when you're comparing 3 or more. Okay? 3 or more objects, then you're going to be using the est. Okay, for the most. When you're comparing just 2 things, it's the okay, for more, that it has more length if it's longer. Okay, now we use the word length a lot, but what is length? So here is length, and you can see here, sorry, length is you are measuring the distance from one end of an object to the other. So length is talking about how long or how short something is from one end of the object all the way to the other end. Okay, so when you want to measure the length, you start at the beginning of an object and then you measure it all the way to the end of the object. Now, our essential question says, what are ways to measure the length? Because that's what we're talking about, is measuring length. And so when you measure something, you are trying to find that distance from one end of an object to another. And here you can see that they used cubes to measure how long a marker is. We're going to be talking about how you can use paper clips, how you can use cubes, how you can even use like pasta noodles, like macaroni noodles to use to measure how long something is. And that is called your length unit. So you're going to use something shorter to measure something longer. Okay, so you're going to see how many cubes long something is, or how many paper clips long, how many cheese puffs long that something is. So you're going to use those as your length unit. So let's take a look and go over some of our words. So we have longer, longest, shorter, shortest, length, the distance from one end of the object to the other. The length unit is the shorter unit that you use to measure the length. And then measure, that is actually the act of finding the length from one end of an object to the other end of the object. So I hope you guys enjoy this. We're going to try to have a little fun with this. Use a lot of things that you would see every day, maybe in your home, maybe outside. May even have a guest speaker to come and talk to you about measuring things and the way that different uses to measure things in everyday life. So you don't have just to be in math to measure things. And we're going to be talking a lot about finding the length of objects. So don't forget to do your lesson today, and we will see you tomorrow.